Chapter 15. Jay drifted into the transmission suite, passing the previous occupant on his way out. The last user, a mid-tier pilot Jay used to be friendly acquaintances with, averted his eyes as the pariah passed, refusing to acknowledge the armoured warrior, as was tradition. Normally the casual insults and slights that were part of his daily routine got to him. He made sure it was so. It reminded him of his place and his purpose, but today he simply felt excitement. Jay glided into the transmission booth and locked the portal behind him, deftly manoeuvring his suited physique into the couch positioned to the front of the console display, buckling himself in as to not float around during the duration of his call. He opened the faceplate of his armour with a thought and allowed the transmission console to read his features. He sat still through the process, leg twitching with impatience. In truth, it was but a few seconds, but any amount of delay was nearly unbearable at this point. The console chimed softly, and Jay spoke the instructions, ordering the machine to dial the number given to him by ops personnel. A dial tone rang. Beep, beep. Pause. Beep, beep. The wait was agonizing. Jay glanced at the fleet positional chart mounted above the transmission console, displaying the fleet disposition in real time in relation to the protected planet Mar Nosso and its satellites. Given the present rate of rotation of all parties, Jay calculated he had approximately 15 minutes before his window would close, and it would be weeks until optimal communication positions were attained again. Beep, beep. A click. A blank screen accompanied by a voice. Operator? The man on the end said flatly. Jay gave the extension and the name he was after. Wait, please. And the beeping continued. Another minute or so passed, and Jay couldn't keep his eyes off the fleet chart. Suddenly a click, and she was there. Aline Vocc's beautiful face filling the console display. Her backdrop was a stateroom in some opulent mansion planetside, sun beaming through a floor-to-ceiling window. It was surreal to see her in such a place, Jay thought. She looked for a moment, then recognition hit, and she scowled deeply. Jay couldn't suppress a smile. Princess, he said. Pariah, she stated coldly. I didn't know you were allowed transmission privileges. The lag was barely noticeable, and the display was clear. Perfect. I'm not, Jay replied. But I know people. My position gives me certain freedoms to move unseen among the kin. Her face softened a bit, the threat of a coy smile appearing. How long has it been? She asked, unnecessarily. She would know exactly how long it was since the last time she and Jay shared the same system. Since Volta, he replied, right before you went freelance and left me. She looked hurt by that, but the pain from Jay's side had faded to dullness. I don't mean it like that, he said, backtracking. Simply a statement of fact. I know our arrangement could never work since my failure. She looked distant for a moment, remembering the past probably, Jay's bold attempt at succession and ultimate defeat at the hands of her father. I'll never understand why you didn't take the honourable death, Jay. How can you bear to live with the humiliation every day? He didn't hesitate. Because it's easier than losing you. And yet, she said with a shrug, you lost me anyway. It was Jay's turn to look away. Aye, I did. But anyway, he said, changing tack. That's not the reason I'm calling. I don't like it that you're down there on the surface. She frowned, an expression that came easily to the Vocc air. Among the dirt eaters. They're using you. Nonsense, she scoffed. I provide a service and they pay me. I saw the local news. I'd recognise your doll anywhere. I thought the Brigador contract was over. This was supposed to be a media tour. The concern's parading their pet mercenaries around to promote their movie. Fighting in the streets does not meet that description, my love. Don't call me that. We're no longer bonded. Another shrug. And anyway, circumstances change. The local authorities are ill-equipped to deal with these terrorist attacks, so I'm on a new contract now. It's how freelancing works. The children of gravity think us monsters, so I'll give them a monster." She grinned a feral grin. It sent a shiver through Jay. He always found her terrifying when her mind was on the fight. The only time she was fully engaged, her blood heritage on full display. "At least petition for an escort. I would like to be down there to protect you." She laughed now. "I don't need protecting, Jay. And you would cost the Clade millions just stepping foot on this world. Contract above all, you know that." She was right, of course. No Vocc forces were allowed into Faber area of operations. That was the agreement. "I can be very discreet when I need to be. Just say the word and I'll be down there in a blink." She chuckled at him again. "You do make me laugh, you romantic fool. I'll be fine. I could raise this city to the ground on my own if I needed to. The vermin have nothing that can take me down." Jay nodded, then shifted to a more serious tone. "It's not the dirt eaters I'm worried about. There are other threats on that world." "I'm well aware of Darb," she said. "It's okay. I'm freelance. I can keep him at arm's length." "Make sure you do," Jay warned. There was a silence, both parties in thought for a few seconds, before the pariah piped up again. "What were those creatures on Volta that lived in the swamps? These slimy things that suck blood from the flesh of the locals? The fools thought they had medicinal properties." "Leeches," Aline replied. "The foul little things were called leeches." "That's what Darb reminds me of, a leech. He sucks the life out of everything around him, yet the Clades are convinced of his utility." Jay smiled and nodded to himself, happy with the comparison. "Aye," Aline replied. "Well, that leech won't be getting anywhere near me." She looked out of shot, nodded at someone else nearby, and looked back to Jay. "Look, I'm being called away. The concern wants to use me as a marketing tool after last night's little skirmish, and I'm required to attend tedious rehearsals with these idiot apes. For some reason, they need to practice a simple speech over and over. It was nice catching up with you, Jay. I hope we get to see each other soon." She stood from her seat, reaching down to a control on the display she was using. "Praise the Annihilator," she said. "Annihilator be praised," Jay replied, and Aline cut the link. "I love you," said the pariah to a blank screen. He still had a few minutes of his time slot remaining, so Jay decided to sit with his thoughts. End of part 1.